Welcome to the Friday podcast.
Woo! Now let's have a little bit more enthusiasm
Was that not,
there.
It wasn't exciting enough?
It felt a little flat. Just a little flat, Obi.
Well, Nikki, maybe I'm feeling a little flat.
Well, you're just going to have to,
Pretend.
Yeah, pretend. This is your last thing, and then it's the weekend. We can do this.
Yes. So in today's podcast, we talk about my massive investment payoff. The coffee that we ended up getting. Netflix is going to start milking you. Panera, Charlie Brown, the Yule Log, Obadiah's Mystery Science Theater thing, a Pac-Man cocktail table, COVID-23, COVID toes, and getting the refund you deserve with a crowbar.
And understanding that someone went through something with that story, and we might not be mad at her for it, and we might actually support her, but we'll have to see.
She's the hero. What is the Dark Knight thing? She's not the hero we deserve, but she's the hero we need right now.
Oh, is that from the movie?
Yeah.
That's her quote.
It's kind of where we're at.
Well, make sure you say hello this weekend. We really hope everybody has a restful and enjoyable weekend, and especially with your extra hour of sleep since we fall back this weekend. Feel free to text and say hello at 877 to RadioU, or if Facebook's easier, you just message us at RadioU Riot, and that's our Facebook page.
All right. You guys have a fantastic weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
The Riot isn't all bad, but this is the worst of the Riot. Radio U.
You know, something we talked about on the show yesterday was the basically the problem that we're having with everybody buying everything and then putting it on sale online, and then no one can have anything nice at a retail price.
Well, you can't go buy something that you want on your own. Someone else swoops in, gets it first, resells it for a higher price, and you either have to pay that price or you get nothing.
And getting nothing is where I have been. But I want you to know that I got a text last night from a friend of mine who was like, hey, I am at the grocery store and I'm going to find this coffee. And
Yay!
he's like, I heard you on the show and you couldn't find the coffee. And so he kept texting me updates and he couldn't find it. And then finally, and this is some real sacrifice, his wife had some pumpkin spice coffee and she just gave me what she had left.
Oh, that's sweet.
So Brandon and Amanda, thank you for putting all that effort in. The spice must flow.
Even though it didn't work, but then, sacrificing your own coffee and making it work that way.
Yeah. He said that there were a bunch of Ugg-booted thugs that were watching him in the store because he wasn't really supposed to be there buying the coffee.
Oh, he didn't look like he belonged.
He didn't belong.
It was this Starbucks pumpkin spice, the ground coffee. And Obi's been looking for it because he just happened to really like it. And some people said it's at Sam's Club, which we don't have memberships. But if anybody sees it, just a little texty, just text us and let us know if you happen to locate it somewhere.
Well, I really appreciate it. Now, I haven't had a drink yet because my coffee is way too hot for me to drink out of. But yes, I'm excited about it. It smells good. And, man, to paraphrase, greater love hath almost no man than this, that he share his coffee with his friends.
That's a big sacrifice.
It's a big one, Nikki.
Good morning. Arthur says happy Friday morning. Thank you for texting, Arthur. Hopefully you're ready for a good weekend.
Yeah, Arthur, he recognizes the Dune reference. Listen, I'm old school Dune fan, and I want to keep making Dune references. It's going to be weird. This is completely off topic, but as somebody that loves Dune, it's going to be weird when it goes mainstream when that movie comes out in 10 years.
The newer one that we watched the trailer for. I don't know how mainstream that'll still go. I mean, it has a lot of people. The new Dune movie is very impressive looking, but at the heart of it, it's still Dune.
I know, but I think...
I don't know if everybody will fall for it by the exciting cast.
I think they think that there's going to be some money there. So I don't know. We'll see.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, Internet. The worst of the Riot podcast.
Remember, you can text us. We always love to hear from you. 877-2-RADIO-U. Zach did just that, and he says, I have an issue Netflix just raised their prices, and I got an email yesterday saying my free year of Disney Plus is about to expire.
Oh, decision time. Ooh, Zach, what to do? So, did Netflix just raise the lower tier of?
Nope.
They're raising all of it?
Everybody except for the very, 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 very bottom tier.
They don't get raised?
Nope. But like if you are like us, I've got the 4K.
Yeah.
It's going from 16 to 18 a month.
Again, I thought we just did this.
And the other one is going from like the middle tier one. Let me double check. I think it goes from 12 to 14. It goes from $12.99 to $13.99. So 13 to 14. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know what? Here's the thing that I really genuinely have to think about. I don't really watch Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do, but I don't.
But you have things in your queue. You just have things you want to watch, but you just don't.
Yeah. But I never do. I never actually sit down and watch it. And so, I mean, I have watched my Netflix bill go from, $8 to $18 over the last 2 or 3 years.
It's a lot.
Like, it is. And I mean, it used to be this fun bonus thing, and now it's turning into like a monthly obligation.
Well, remember, we talked last time when they were raising their prices that why don't we just turn it off for some months when there isn't anything? And then you bring it back.
To see how it is.
Well, no, like even just you could bring it back anytime you want to. You can cancel it and then join again. So if you didn't have anything or you wanted to save up everything and then watch it like during Christmas break or something. But you don't have to keep paying for it right now and then watch it when you actually have time to get into stuff.
I've definitely done that with shows before where instead of paying for 3 months of a service, I just wait till the show's over, pay for a month, watch the whole thing.
Yeah, just little proper planning, and then you could not have to pay all this stuff.
What do you think, though, for you personally? Do you are you still in enough to do Netflix?
I still do. They bought a lot of shows. I watch a lot of Korean dramas.
It's true.
And they bought a lot of that stuff. So I canceled a couple other services because I can just watch them through there. But a lot of people really were unhappy with Netflix recently because of some decisions. A lot of people a lot of people have actually been canceling. And then what's going to happen is they're going to try to make more money by going back and squeezing more out of the people who are still paying for their service.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you, in looking at it, I don't know. Zach says he's subscribed to Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and Hulu.
Sure.
And I have Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime,
YouTube,
but that's like YouTube Music and everything. But
don't you pay for Red?
I do, but it's both.
Yeah.
Like if you do YouTube Red, which is now YouTube Premium, you get YouTube Music and commercial-free YouTube. And the funny thing is, out of all of that, the thing that I really watch is YouTube.
Yeah.
That's the one that I feel like I could cancel anything, but you're not taking that.
Well, Zach, I don't know if we're being any help to you because you were also asking, is it worth it like for Disney Plus? But I guess you'll have to see.
That just depends. I share Disney Plus with family members, and I know that
you can't cancel it because they like it.
No. That's my problem with Netflix. Like, I pay for my parents' Netflix, which is crazy, but it's true. Like, if I canceled Netflix, I feel like I don't know what they do. Well,
some people, if you're on a joint account, like unofficially, some people just don't say anything if you end up canceling it because they know that it's shameful if they bring it up because they're not paying for it. But I feel like parents probably would. They would ask you, why doesn't it work? And then you'd have to tell them.
It's funny, but I'm just like, that's probably like the one nice thing I do for my stepdad. I should just keep
let it
going. Just let it go, man. Let the guy watch it.
We're still paying all this stuff as they raise their price. We're still staying there.
I know. Shoot.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on RadioU.
It's Bitcoin, Nikki.
Bitcoin is back, and it's bigger than ever.
They say that Bitcoin is now at a 3-year high. Like, the big money is happening. And I bought in when it was low.
You only bought in because wasn't it a thing with Cash, the Cash app?
Yes.
And it was just weird. It was like one day, if you had cash in your Cash App, you could just, instead of like cashing it out to your account, you could turn it into Bitcoin. And he did, but that was years ago.
Yeah. So I went ahead and I bought it for $20. I bought $20 worth of Bitcoin, basically.
And you just let it ride.
I've just let it ride. During the break, I took a look, Nikki. It is now up to $36.
Hey, woo! Record high. We've seen that thing float low, very low, losing money
very low.
And it's back up now. What are you going to do? Just keep riding with it?
Yeah, this is just my fun little thing. I watch my Bitcoin go up and down. I'll tell you this, it makes me wish I had gone back. I almost bought like $1,000 worth when I did it.
Not.
I was like, I did. I thought about it where I was like, man, wouldn't it, like, it seems to fluctuate, but like, what if, like, what if I just bought a bunch, $100, $1,000, like whatever, just see what it was. I could have made, a chunk.
I think
like, that would have been.
You never know though when you're supposed to cash out of it, or what do? You sell it or something? You never really know if you'll end up, or if it could have gone higher than that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it works. The funny thing is I've never tried to use it or spend it or pull it out. I know I did one time just because I wanted to know if it could be done, and it's not easy to do. You've got to find somebody that takes it or somebody that is willing to exchange it, and it's not impossible, but the process is not as easy as you think.
Which again
is
is
going to be
why Obi's Bitcoin has sat there for years instead of doing something with it, because it's just easier to leave it alone.
It's easier to just leave it alone.
Hey, well, congratulations. You made some money. It's not something you can use, but you've made something.
I made money without working at all. Now that is living.
I don't know if the $30 will take care of all of life's problems, but
no.
At least it's better than losing money.
I didn't say it would, but they did say that like total, they're saying Bitcoin's up about 87%, and apparently now PayPal will let it will exchange Bitcoin for you.
Oh, if you want to buy something with it, or if you want to exchange it back to money.
Oh, I would maybe both. I'd have to look at it a little bit, but they say that has been one of the biggest kind of pieces of news in the Bitcoin world, which apparently I'm not tied into, is that PayPal
is now a part of it.
That. Yeah.
Well, that'll make it a little easier when it's a bigger, more reputable company like PayPal.
Yes, exactly that.
What's worse than the worst of the Riot? The Worst of the Riot podcast. Yeah. You did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. RadioU.
I don't know if you guys heard the news, but the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown will no longer be broadcast on TV anymore.
They've talked about that. It was sold to Apple TV, and so they have the rights to showing it, which means it's no longer available for broadcast rights. So you won't see it on, like, wasn't it always ABC that would show it, or?
Well, you know what?
Depends on where you're at.
It depends on where you are. It actually, I believe originally it was a CBS special. You see, Nikki, I got a book that was all about the Charlie Brown Christmas special.
Did you?
Which, yeah, I did. I got it for Christmas a couple of years ago. It's a great book. That being said, I believe it was CBS, but eventually ABC bought it. Or at least bought the broadcast rights. I don't know who actually owns the special, but now, as Nikki said, it's gone to Apple Plus. But Apple wanted to get out there and let everybody know there was kind of a public outcry. But today and tomorrow, if you want to watch the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, it is free on Apple Plus.
Well, that's awfully generous of them, isn't it? I guess for some it's a tradition, so you want to watch it. And if that tradition was taken away and you don't want to buy into Apple, Apple Plus, then that's fine. Apple TV.
I haven't watched it yet this year, but I think I've probably watched it every year since I was like 3 years old. So the idea, I have it on DVD, so it's not as if.
I was going to say, is that the only format you have it on?
Yeah. I had a point where I was like, we can probably not upgrade to this. I got really close to buying the Charlie Brown 4K box set at one point, and I was just like, dude, just don't.
That's where you drew the line on Charlie Brown. You love that stuff.
I know. Of all the stupid things I bought, Charlie Brown's the one I should have bought, and I should have said no to all that other stuff.
But you're buying like the Meg in the steel box, but you're not buying Charlie Brown?
Hey, the Meg was $9. It was on clearance. I have no regrets. I have some regrets, but not like a ton of them.
So, again, When was it for Apple TV if you want to watch the Charlie Brown?
Today. It's today and tomorrow, and if you don't know, like Apple TV, you could watch it if you've got an iPhone or an iPad, any kind of an Apple device, but Apple TV, the app, has started rolling out to other things. So I believe you can get the Apple TV app on Roku devices. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that's true. You can also snag it on Amazon Fire devices. And while I don't know if it's on the PS4, I know it's coming to the PlayStation 5. So that's going to be too late for you to watch Charlie Brown, guys.
Well, maybe they'll give you the Christmas one. Maybe they'll do that one for free.
I would say that's probably true as well.
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
Hey, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Remember, you can always text us, as people have been doing. John from Dayton says, hey, random question. What song did Obadiah have a cameo in the music video? It was filmed in a barn, if I remember correctly.
John, definitely a random question, but worth asking.
Yes, and the answer to that is it was Wolves at the Gate, Oh, the Depths.
Did you get your marker time? Or?
Yes, if you go to the 54-second mark, you will see me on stage holding a guitar. And it's, you know what's funny? It's exactly what I always wanted. I always wanted to be in a music video. I used to harass John Rubin about it incessantly. And then Wolves at the Gate called and they were like, hey, we're doing a video near you. Do you want to be in it? So it's directed by Isaac Dietz, who has directed a ton of music videos that you've seen, including, let's say, the zombie video from
FF5.
Family Force 5.
Yeah.
That's a landmark one. And his idea was you're just going to pop up on stage for a second. Nobody's going to know. And you know what? That it's awesome. It's just a super fast blink and you'll miss it cameo.
But he's there.
I am. I'm totally there. Also want to say hi to Other John. He texted and wanted to know if we've ever checked out a YouTube channel called Game Maker's Toolkit. And I've never done that.
So we're going to, though. So thank you, John, for the recommendation for a channel to watch.
You know what I did? I actually just looked it up on my old YouTube here and subscribed to the channel, and I'll check it out.
So, John, if it's not good, then it's your fault. If it's good, thank you very much. Hope he's got a new channel to watch.
You know, the funny thing about it is I love film production. It's not like I make movies, but, you know, we work in video and audio production and stuff. And so I love to watch things about that. I watch almost nothing about game production. So I don't know if maybe I don't want somebody to show me what they're doing. So I don't.
You don't want that curtain pulled back? Is that it?
Maybe I don't want to know, but it looks like an interesting channel. So I subscribed and I'll give it a shot.
Oh, anytime you guys find something you think really seems like me or Obi and you think we might like, just go ahead and throw it at us, text it, or message it at RadioU Riot on Facebook. It might be something we actually enjoy. Yeah, you guys are you guys are usually pretty spot on when it's something that we do end up enjoying.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while we get the random what, but most I feel like you guys have got a pretty good read on it. And you know, Nikki and I don't exactly we don't hide what we're into, so
so you're pretty close every time.
If it looks like something we'll like, we probably will.
If it's bears, it's Nikki. If it's video games and movie stuff, it's Obi. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Come on.
This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Man, people go to Panera like it's good, you know?
Hey, every so often, usually someone will bring us like a set of bagels from Panera, and it's not bad. I mean, it'll do.
No, that is actually the one thing. I'll tell you right now. If you want to go to Panera and get some bagels, I am 100%
behind. Sign us up. We'll grab a couple from you, but normally we don't go to like eat lunch or anything. We used to back in the day, but it's been a while.
They don't let you customize your sandwiches, and I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the soup.
Well, it's because it's all made like it's not made then and there. It's made earlier and sometimes somewhere else.
But man, pass me a bagel, I'm in. Or even, I've been known to pick up a baguette from time to time.
Hey.
Take the baguette home, make your own sandwich.
So basically, we really like bread, is what we're saying.
Yeah. So Panera announced yesterday that they are adding pizza to its menu for the first time ever.
That could be interesting. Are they going to have like a pizza oven, or how are they going to make it?
I mean, I'm assuming they'll have a pizza oven.
Well, or is it going to be like the small oven sort of thing? Not very authentic of a pizza oven.
I don't know. My guess is they're probably not installing, $100,000 brick oven pizza
right in the corner.
It's probably not at the top of their list.
So it's more like, think of it as flatbread pizza instead of like, deep dish sort of style. It's flatbread pizza with cheese, margarita, Chipotle chicken, and bacon. And they say that customers have been asking for it for years, and they're finally going to make pizza on the menu.
I think that sounds fantastic.
You do?
I do. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I don't want to go to Panera right now, but I think that if I was going to go to Panera and I didn't want to get
a sandwich,
a sandwich or a whatever, pizza sounds like a pretty good option. Like, I'm in for that. See, Nikki, I like pizza.
Again, going back to the bread. We also like cheese, too, so it's the perfect combination. Let's see. So that's the biggest announcement. They say, though, in January, they announced plans to have more plant-based menu items in the next few years as well.
Well, hey, Nikki, in a few minutes, I want to talk to you. This love for pizza that I have, it led me astray this week.
To something else?
No, let me tell you what happened to me last night when I tried to order a pizza.
Well, before we do that, Aaron, thank you for your text message. You're missing out on some seriously good pastries. We actually will. We have had pastries from there, too. They said their chocolate chip cookies are amazing, and so are the cinnamon rolls. Basically, what we're saying is we don't eat food. Like, we don't eat a lunch or a dinner meal there. We tend to just get the bakery or pastry items.
Yeah, that's probably a good line to draw. Because, a lot of people are concerned about us and our Panera talk. And I just want you guys to know, Nikki's right. The Panera Bakery, we feel like, is very good.
Yeah, so if you ever met someone, you're like, oh, that's not a great choice for a meal. Like, how are you eating that's the meal? That's us. We're eating things that probably are not the best choice. But are good.
But, I mean, if you want to meet for coffee and a bagel or a pastry, I think Panera's a great choice.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on RadioU.
You want to get a pizza, Nikki?
Anytime, yeah. So that's what you wanted for dinner yesterday?
I did, and the pizza place that I like is closed. I called, and they just had a message that was like, due to a family emergency, we are closed, a.k.a. they've got COVID. You know what that is.
Well, that or maybe they don't have enough staff. I know a lot of places just cannot find enough people to work, so they close at certain shifts or just for certain days. They just don't have staff.
So there's that. And so what I ended up doing was I was like, well, you know what? I'll just order Domino's. They're open. Whatever, it's fine. So,
what happened?
I opened the Domino's Pizza app. I had forgotten my password. I got my password. I got it set. I placed an order, and I was getting it delivered. They said delivery time an hour. And I was like, you know what? That's fine.
Sure.
I knew that going in, et cetera, et cetera. Order the pizza. Wait. An hour goes by. Fine. 90 minutes goes by, and the pizza tracker alerts me that my food has been delivered.
But it hasn't, has it?
Of course it hasn't. Of course it hasn't. Because we all know the pizza tracker is a lie.
Well, did it get delivered somewhere else by accident, or was it not actually something sent out to you?
Well, I called and spoke to the manager, and I was like, yeah, the pizza tracker says my pizza's been delivered, but it hasn't. Now, he was not willing to address the fact that the pizza tracker is a lie that has been foisted on all of us. Instead, he was like, oh, yeah, the delivery driver that had your pizza has been in an accident. So,
they could just be saying that, though.
I'm telling you.
And you can't question if they're saying that. Like, you can't come back at them with it. You just have to accept it.
Here's what I loved. Do you know what I said? I was like, oh, well, is he okay? And he was just quiet for a long time. And then he was like, well, I hope so.
Feels like a lie, doesn't it?
It did. It felt so made up.
It feels like if you're at Domino's and you're the one doing the phones, that there's a clipboard to the right of the phone that has like 8 or 10 responses for why the pizza has not been delivered, and the person just picked that one. That was the one they chose.
Yeah, he's been in an accident.
He's been in an accident. I'm picking number 6 out of 10 on my list.
Yeah. So
did you get another one, or do you just not get pizza?
Don't you feel bad for wanting pizza when we actually have somebody that's had a car accident?
Because of you.
And so I just said to him, I was like, okay, so, well, I hope he's okay. And the guy said, he's like, yeah, we've got another driver that's going to take his deliveries, so we'll get your pizza out to you. And I was like, oh, okay. So another 30 minutes goes by, and I'm like, okay, we're now at the 2-hour mark from when I ordered pizza.
This doesn't work.
So I called and talked to the manager again, and he was like, right, yeah.
Did they forget you again?
He was like, I'll tell you what, I'll expedite your order. You'll have it in half an hour. And I said, okay.
You shouldn't have said okay. You should have just ended it.
I know. You know what? It's one of those things where you've gotten so far into the relationship.
I know.
They're dragging you
right?
along. I want to know. It's like waiting in line at Burger King. I want to know just how long is this really going to take?
But at that point, I mean, if it's 2.5 hours to get your pizza, they shouldn't even be charging you for the pizza. But they're just trying to, string you along so they don't have to refund your money.
I don't disagree with you. So when I called back at the 2.5 hour mark, now my third phone call, and I just said, hey, I just want to go ahead and cancel this order. Like, it's no big deal. Here's what I hear. He puts the phone down, and I hear, hey, there's 2 more calls on hold for the manager, and I hear him going like, just make the pizza. And like, you can tell.
Is he frustrated?
That it's not going great.
Well, at least it's not
over
just
at
you.
The Domino's.
It wasn't just you. And you remember my conversation or my subject about the other pizza place possibly being closed because there's just not enough people? It seems like even the Domino's has the problem of not enough people right now.
So I ended up, I waited on the phone. They thought they had me on hold. They didn't. I got to listen to
the screaming.
Some of what was going on. And then he came back and he was like, hey, your pizza's actually out for delivery right now. Like, it's on its way. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Well, stop being so nice, will ya?
At the 2-hour and 47-minute mark last night, my pizza was delivered.
Oh, wow. Yay. Boy, you really followed through the whole thing. You stuck with the whole pizza thing.
Yeah. Yep. I did it. I got a pizza.
You going to complain or try to get your money back or something? I mean, that's a long time.
I don't know. Do you know what? If I call today to complain about it, what are they going to do?
Spit on your pizza next time they make it.
Yeah, they don't even have people to really answer the phone there. So,
Riot Podcast, RadioU.
Nikki, I finally did get my pizza, which in a lot of ways made me like a lot of the people in Paris last night. One last party before the lockdown.
Well, we were looking at footage of people trying to leave Paris because of the lockdown. It's a month-long one that's supposed to be starting. And they cleared out, food, everything, and then just were leaving Paris to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I can see not wanting to be stuck inside an urban center during a 1-month lockdown. My problem is, like, if I suddenly was like, I got to get out of here, where am I going to go?
Well, if you had family somewhere else, they're probably going to go spend time with family. So at least if you're going to be locked down, you're with them.
Yeah, you might as well be with some people, which, I mean, that's cool. I'm just saying, I guess if I was willing to drive 7 hours, I have family that live in the countryside. So
You would drive those hours and you would do that.
I don't know. I don't know if I would do it or not. Maybe.
They're saying that Europe has seen so many rising infections that France recorded over 47,000 new infections within 24 hours. And
just in one day.
Within one day and 235 deaths. So that's why they are doing the month-long lockdown. And that bans travel, not within the EU. We mentioned that the other day when they were warning people that it was coming. But basically, you can't fly in, you can't fly out.
The other country that's doing the same thing is Germany. Germany is also going to be closing down there because same thing, just huge numbers of the coronavirus. One of the things I will say that I'm kind of wondering is I wonder if some of the numbers they're reporting, if they're actual cases or presumed cases, because that's one of the things that I've seen that I didn't know about is somebody gets corona. If you live with them, you become what they call a presumed case.
So that's why the numbers could be so high because they're just counting everybody within the household.
Yes. I saw there was a local news outlet that were like, hey, we don't report on presumed cases. We will only give you confirmed tested cases. And their number in that particular case, I mean, it was still a high number, but it was a lower number than what was being reported everywhere else.
Gotcha.
So it's just one of those things where you kind of wonder, but the argument they say is that, like, look, if you live in the same house as somebody that's got the vid, you got the vid too.
So the enforcement will last until December 1st. If you do go throughout France, you're required to carry documents during that point, justifying your reason for leaving home because they'll be subjected to police checks. And they said that everybody was stocking up because when we had our quarantine, remember how it was supposed to be like for 2 weeks and no one really knew the things that could come from that. And for now, now they know. So they said they, again, bought toilet paper, food. Everybody was getting final haircuts, things that stopped for so long during the first quarantine that you didn't realize you would have to wait so long. But they went ahead and got all that done before their month-long lockdown starts.
That actually is kind of a good question. If I told you that you were about to have to quarantine for let's just say 2 weeks again, what is it that you would run out and get before the quarantine kicked in?
Well, yeah, everybody would say the toilet paper again, because when that was low, that was weird. That was very strange.
Yeah, toilet paper and peanut butter, guys. Just make sure.
Just start stocking up. Things. Stock up now.
Yeah, so that's what's happening. They're starting. Germany is starting. And I'll tell you, I could be wrong about this, but I think that once we get through the election, there is going to be, I even feel like they're starting to layer that language back into public rhetoric.
Oh, you think here they'll do it too?
Yep, I do. I mean, it's not going to affect Nikki and I. We just keep on going.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here, obviously. This is The Riot on RadioU.
I have the number one way to beat stress this weekend. I have it.
What's that going to be? Eating the candy, or what else is it going to be?
You know what, Nikki? It's calorie free.
It is. It doesn't count on a holiday.
There's no hangover. It is the most low key way to beat stress, but it's going to blow your mind. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
2 words. Yule Log.
You've really enjoyed the fact that you've turned on a Yule Log in your room.
Here. Yeah, look.
He hasn't turned down where he's at.
I've got a Yule Log going right now.
Is it because it just looks like a fireplace? Because Obi's broadcasting. He's at home. He's in his basement. So he has a big TV there. Is it because it kind of feels like a fireplace there? Or are you excited about the Yule Log he found? It's got Christmas stockings on the screen. Is it because of the Christmas stuff or because of the fireplace stuff?
I feel like it all comes together. Now, the Yule Log that I'm using, it's a Hallmark one from the Hallmark Channel. It's 3 hours, which is good because some of these Yule Logs, they're like 20 minutes or something stupid. Some of them also have really obnoxious music going with them. But this Yule Log, no music. It is a very Christmassy looking Yule log.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, technically for it to be a Yule log, it's a Christmas log. But and then it also has a cat. that is just sitting there, and he'll kind of walk around a little bit. And I'm not a cat lover. I mean, I'm not a cat hater, but I'm not a cat lover.
He has bad allergies. He can't have one. So maybe that's also a nice thing with it. It feels like you do have one without any of the care.
Yeah. So like me and this fake cat and this fake fire just hanging out, doing the show. And it has been weirdly calming, when you're even though it's fake.
When you're back in the studio, we have all these extra screens still in here. You can turn a Yule Log on one of those.
It might happen. And I'm not just saying that. I really might do that. It is so nice.
So if you're looking for a way to de-stress this weekend and you've never turned on a Yule Log on, because usually it's at Christmas time, or like when our RadioU Christmas channel comes out, we do a Yule Log on our Roku channel. But normally it is closer to Christmas, but maybe you're saying go ahead and turn one on now.
Yes. And you know what? Seriously, like if you need a little way to kick back and relax, this is it. This is the one, guys. Just go for it. Because you know what? They can do the election. They can do whatever they want, but they can't.
They can't extinguish your Yule Log. It can't go away.
They can't take that Yule Log away.
And Nicole just texted and said she would put this up while her students would work in class, so she must be a teacher. And it always works so well. And it's like, it works for students and the Obadiahs of the world
Yeah.
who need something to calm them down.
Andy said he's got Star Trek ambiance going in the background while I listen to you. You sound like you're on the Enterprise. It's weird how perfect it is.
Nice. This is how you can de-stress. This is what you should be looking into.
I do love that.
People win awards for being the best at things. Are there awards for the worst? Because we have a contender. Worst of the Riot podcast.
Pardon me while we just continue to talk about what makes me happy.
Maybe, though, that gives people inspiration and also makes them happy, too. They might come up with an idea that works for them.
I am so excited. I backed a Kickstarter. Was it on Kickstarter? I don't know, whatever. A crowdfunded thing over the summer. Basically, what happened was in downtown Minneapolis, there was a violent protest in which they burned down a nonprofit building. And that nonprofit building was where... It was there to help people learn to read that didn't know how to read.
Oh, I remember that. So
great job, everybody, burning that down. You really stuck it to the man on that one. Literacy, who cares? So Mystery Science Theater, actually, the guy behind that, Joel Hodgson, he had a fundraiser for them. And the fundraiser was basically like, hey, you give money, here's the amount we're trying to raise, and we will give you 2 new MST3K mini episodes.
Mystery Science Theater
Mystery
3000.
Science Theater. Sorry.
You're going to need to, for the people that aren't familiar with that, spell it out.
You know what? I need to stop talking about it like everybody knows what it is. I'm doing it. Part of the problem is that I've connected with this online community. And so for me, it's become more commonplace and nobody knows what it is. I need to stop. But I backed this Kickstarter and I saw this morning that people were watching it. I'm like, what? How? That's because the links that I should have gotten last night for my Kickstarted videos went to my spam folder.
Oh, well, look, you got something for the weekend then.
I'm so excited. There's 2 of them. They're 12 minutes long, so it's not like it's some super long whatever. But holy crap, I am so excited.
Between that and the Yule Log, you got the weekend set.
I'm set, dude. I'm set. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. As soon as the show is over and I've taken care of the podcast and I've taken a nap and I feel better, I'm totally watching this.
Then he's totally going to enjoy Mystery Science Theater 3000 because he funded something over the summer, and so he got some bonus content.
Oh, I'm so excited about it.
Good for you. That's great.
And it was cool to think that, like, yes, some people burned down the literacy building and I helped them rebuild it. I feel good about that. I do. I mean,
you really invested wisely.
Well, there's a lot of times I'm part of the problem, but this feels like part of the solution this time.
No, that was good. And that was really nice of them to have the fundraiser in the first place.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
You guys have heard of COVID-19, right? You guys familiar with that? It's a flu-like virus that has been going around.
I think everybody is.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of COVID-23 though?
Oh, what's that? Don't tell me it's something else. Don't say that.
It's so funny. I don't know if this is either the smartest movie that you could make right now or the dumbest movie you could make right now. They have made a movie. It's being produced by Michael Bay, but it's directed by, I don't know who directed it, but it's called Songbird. And it's about the world in 2024, so 3 years from now, when the world has been ravaged by COVID-23. Millions are dead. We've been in a 3-year quarantine lockdown, et cetera, et cetera.
This one says we've been trapped in a lockdown for 4 years.
Okay, 4 years.
4 years, so that's the movie, and then it gets you to that point in 2023.
Yeah, and I don't want to watch it.
This seems like too real for some of it. They're saying that basically there's martial law, and it's the story of a couple trying to figure things out while a virus is still going around. It's a pandemic thriller.
I'm out, dude. No, it's too real. Like there's been too much. Like I've seen too much. The last thing I want to know is I don't need speculative fiction to help me explore my fear.
The one main character is apparently immune to the virus, and he has to search for his girlfriend who had to evacuate her apartment when one of the neighbors gets the virus.
Okay. Nope. Though I like the idea of being immune. I'll take that. How do we get that?
I don't know if people would be up for this. Is that, too soon to have a movie? Because if you go back, last year, a pandemic thriller wouldn't have been so nervous or anxiety driven for us, because now we know it's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the thing for me would be, it would be interesting to watch it and see how people in the film react, because I feel like that was one of the things that in the middle of all of this that was surprising is the way that some people reacted to the pandemic. Sure. So, some of it was way more intense than I thought it would be, and some of it was not.
So it's being directed by Adam Mason, and they said it's a Romeo and Juliet when they're separated by the virus sort of story.
Does that mean... So do they commit suicide at the end? Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't mean it's like an exact thing from the Romeo and Juliet.
Well, I'm just telling you, I don't
like the movie. Way of really making it even more depressing.
First off, I didn't make this movie. Okay, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying.
Not supposed to bring that up.
I'm trying to save us from that ending. I want to know up front. You've already told me like half the world's dead from pandemic. So do our heroes make it? Does one of them make it? Never mind. I don't want to see this movie.
So that is something that people were talking about. Mostly they were talking about how to film a pandemic movie while a pandemic is actually going on.
You just take a camera out in the streets. No big deal.
Everything's already set for it. So that's
the
Songbird.
World's already terrible enough.
That's Songbird, and it's coming from Michael Bay.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So I'll have to say, I've certainly looked at, but I have not been interested in actually purchasing any of these mini arcade machines that have become kind of popular.
Yeah, have you seen them? The Costco one has like a Pac-Man, and then they have a basketball one. Is that the sort of look that it is?
Yes.
It's smaller. Yeah. It's a smaller cabinet than like if you went to an actual arcade, but it is something more for at-home use.
It's cool. I don't like, and I know this is going to be ridiculous, but I don't like the fact that it's small. If they
to be on my knees or something, or like lean over. It's just I'm too tall to actually play it, or you have to put it on a stand to make it higher.
Yeah, and they sell you the stands for like $300 additional. It's so funny, but their stands are absurdly priced to get them up to a decent height.
Well, then you have to ask yourself, because if you bought a classic arcade machine, which would be a standard height one, does it cost more money to maintain one of those machines compared to if you're buying one of these smaller cabinet ones? At least it's modern and probably wouldn't have any issues.
Well, Nikki, if you're bored and you want to go down an internet rabbit hole, I want you to know there's an entire enthusiast community that would love to answer some of those questions with you.
They would like me to post that question on their forum because they'd be happy to answer it.
They would, especially because you're a girl. Sorry, but it's true.
They would be very excited to see me there.
Don't scare her off, guys. There's a girl here. Everybody calm down.
Well, I've always wanted a pinball table, like a full-size one. And then I saw the Pac-Man one at Costco. But like I said, it's just too small. It just feels uncomfortable.
Well, did you see? This is what I'm looking at Best Buy. They say this is a full-size cocktail table version of Miss Pac-Man. So apparently they used to have ones where you could sit down at them and you would look down at the screen.
Oh,
I've seen those. There was I don't know if they're still there, but there was this like cookie dough place that I went to where you bought cookie dough and then you could play games there. Yeah.
Well, don't you remember the Pizza Hut buffet place?
Oh, yeah, they had one.
They had one because you could sit there and play the game if you wanted while you waited.
You know what? I would be more interested in this than the other ones I've seen so far. $450 seems like a lot.
But it's not as bad as you think it is if you're wanting to get into it.
Right. And it's got 8 games on it. Miss Pac-Man, Super Pac-Man, Pac-Mania, Pac-Land, Galaga, Galaxian, Dig Dug, and Dig something. I can't. The name got cut off there.
They also have a standing one. So instead of it being a sitting table one, a normal standing one, that one's $500.
Okay. See, that interests me more, but just by me saying more doesn't mean I'll get it.
I don't think Pac-Man's what I want. I don't know what I do want if I did an arcade machine, but I'm not sure about. What was the name of that Netflix special, that TV show we were watching about gaming? Classic gaming?
Level Up?
Yeah, that one
Is that what it's called?
It actually went into like Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man, and it was kind of interesting. It kind of opened your eyes a bit about the game and the creation of it, but $500, not sure about that. If I want to, I'd have to find the right one.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, Super Miss Pac-Man is delightful. Like, I absolutely, positively love that game, and I never liked any of those really old school, like Donkey Kong and stuff. I never cared for any of that stuff, and I don't even remember where I was when I found a Super Miss Pac-Man machine, but I was waiting on some people, and so I was just like, oh yeah, I'll give this a shot, whatever. And it was a revelation.
It was a lot of fun.
I loved it, and have loved it ever since. So it's out there. For $450, I'll probably take a PlayStation 5 instead of this, but
but who knows? Maybe if we had an extra $500, we'd go for that.
The Riot. Not everyone's a fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
RadioU.
Could somebody help me, please, with what the heck a COVID toe is?
What do you mean?
Have you heard that?
Is that a side effect? What happens?
Yeah. They say that there's this thing you can get with COVID-19. It's not guaranteed. Not everybody's going to be that lucky. But for the few that get COVID-19, even fewer are those that get COVID toes.
Is it the rash that's on the toe that can show?
Yeah.
Did you see how long it can last?
That's what I'm looking at right now. Somebody is saying they had COVID toes for 150 days.
It can be a very long symptom, but it really just depends on you if you get COVID. They say that some people lose their hair, and then some people lose their hair like later on. Some people get the COVID toe. Some people lose their taste, and some people lose it for a little. Some people lose their taste for a very long time. Everybody's different.
I've got a friend of mine who has COVID right now, and she told me she can't taste anything.
Anything at all?
Which I can't even... How does that even work? That you can't... I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe her, but, like, what is that like? And I was talking to her, and she told me, she's like, yeah, she can drink coffee, and it's just hot. She doesn't taste it.
The flavor
so I was
with
like,
it?
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, then make hot water and drink that and see if it's, like, the same. And she said that she could basically tell... There's some kind of, she said you still get some kind of sensation from your tongue.
Yeah.
But you just don't taste, which I don't know. It's
so
weird,
COVID
but
toe would be like toe swelling, toe discoloration, and toe pain for many, many months. It's like an inflammation with your toes.
To me, it feels like a joke. Like I would see somebody with their shoes off and be like, dude, your COVID toe is disgusting.
It looks kind of like if you ever see someone who's got frostbite or something where it gets really, on the fingers and toes. They say for other COVID symptoms with your skin, you can get hives. You can get scales kind of on your skin. Again, depends on each person and what you might get.
Boom. Confirmed. It's the lizard people that are giving us COVID-19.
I
Boom,
don't
confirmed.
see where that is, but for some
They're
you might get like a red or purple rash. So it depends on what you might have.
The shadow government is accidentally spreading this disease, slowly turning us all into the lizard people.
It's hard.
That's what it is.
You're having this terrible, terrible sickness, and then for some, you have all these terrible, terrible side effects from it as well. Ones that can have some really lasting problems with your body.
Who the heck is? I mean, I'm sure somebody else is like, man, that ain't funny. I got COVID toe.
Yeah, don't
but
bring
I didn't
it
even.
up. Maybe don't
No,
mention
I didn't
it.
I didn't know it was a thing.
I know, but watch your tone with it because you don't want to make someone who has it feel very bad. It's already bad.
Hey, look, I don't want to make anybody feel bad about it. I just find it shocking because I'm just like, wait. Yeah, I get it. Hard time breathing, cough, fatigue. But now you're telling me my toes are at risk? What the heck is going on?
I think people would have seen it already. That's like a sign that you probably have it. So you would see the rash and then say, oh, okay, that's probably what it is.
Well, listen, I wish you and your toes the best of luck, friends.
This is the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
I am right now more dependent on Spectrum than I ever have been in my entire life.
Well, you're broadcasting from home, so you really need them to come through with a good internet connection.
Their internet service is more important to me than it's ever been. And I don't know if that makes me pathetic or if it just, it's just life. And I know I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that are dealing with that right now.
Well, if you're working from home or if you're doing your classes from home, I don't know if before quarantine and just people working from home more often, I don't know if we realized how much our internet providers, not just Spectrum, but other ones, got involved in the quality of our current connection on purpose. Like, how else to say that? I don't know. Is this word called throttling where, certain times of the day you might be like, wow, my internet is so much slower. How come? Well, they'll pull certain sites and certain things back to where you're not getting the same speed that you would be getting or should be getting with what your package is.
Now, Nikki, I don't know if throttling was the source of despair for Deanna, but she was on the phone with Spectrum's customer service.
Yeah.
Okay. And she was very frustrated with several of their policies, and she wanted to cancel her service.
Okay.
And I don't know if she wanted to cancel all of it or part of it or what, but she wanted a cancellation. And in the process, in the midst of that cancellation, she wanted a refund. And that refund is something that became a point of contention between her and the customer service representative.
We understand that. We've all been upset with how a customer service experience has gone.
Oh, most assuredly. There have been many times that I feel like I had a refund coming that I did not receive. And Deanna felt the same way, and so she decided to take matters into her own hands. She got a crowbar, and she got in her car, and she drove down to a Spectrum retail location.
Yeah, because they have stores.
They do. And she used that crowbar to open a cash register and take some money and leave. And she told them, I'm getting my refund. What I think is really funny is she didn't take like thousands of dollars. She literally took maybe not the exact amount of money, but pretty close to the amount of money that was contended.
Yeah.
And she went home.
She wanted her refund back, and it didn't matter how she was going to get it.
Nikki, this woman is all of us right now.
I know.
She is. She is. She's a hero for the people, and they're standing up, and they've arrested her. The police have gone out and picked her up.
They went to her home. She was surrounded. They called her and told her to come on out. So this is actually interesting because she was armed with a crowbar. That means it's armed robbery charges. So she faces more because she was armed. If she would have just went in and it was just robbery, it wouldn't have been as bad, but she should not have gone in with the crowbar.
Give this woman a trial by a jury of her peers. I want that jury stacked with people that have Spectrum service and people that have spent time online with Spectrum's customer service, and then let's see if they're able to get that conviction. Spectrum walks away owing her money.
Well, a lot of court cases are done like through Zoom, through online meetings. So imagine if it was powered by Spectrum and the problems that maybe she was getting, you would get during that court case. She wouldn't be found guilty at all.
She's just like, do you see, Your Honor? Do you see?
All I wanted was my money back. That was it. And she needed the crowbar to get the cash register probably open because that's what she hit.
She didn't threaten anybody with it. You just see her prying it open. I'm watching the video. She doesn't seem particularly enraged. She just seems...
That's the scariest type of person, though. Have you ever seen someone really mad to the point where they're so calm that something else could happen?
That when someone is screaming, they're still angry in a way that they're venting rage. It's when they get quiet that they've stopped venting rage and it's taken over.
They've let the rage inside and it's taken over, and she wanted her money back, so she went for the refund.
Well, who hasn't been there with the cable company?
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no, I missed it. Do it again.
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
Stars!